All right. Well, we might as well utilize the time that we've got with you. So let's move you guys back over to Phandalin. Now, what I've done, if you zoom in on the Townmaster's Hall, which is where, oh no, it wasn't the Townmaster's Hall, was it? It wasn't that at all.
It was the square of the Shrine of Luck where we were last.
We had just gone into the pub, I think.
Yeah, I put you guys in the wrong building. Let's move you guys up to the Stonehill Tavern. There we go. So I've decided I wanted to put your tokens in there now, just because you guys like split up like straight away, and I completely lost where you guys were, and we can't be having that. Okay. All right. So we last left you guys as you entered the Stonehill Inn. As you guys entered, it's about 3:00 in the afternoon. People are kind of still milling around after the lunch rush. It's got a nice warm tone to the room. It's quite light. It's quite welcoming. And across the behind the bar is like a short little friendly human, just a normal guy. And he's just got a big beaming smile on his face, and he looks like a very welcoming guy. We do. And you can hear as he calls out. No, he doesn't. Where is it? He calls out. Welcome to the Stonehill Inn. Come have a drink.
He looks very friendly.
He is. He's a very friendly looking guy. Yeah. So what would you like to? Sorry, I should probably say that there's probably a good maybe 6 to 7 tables in this inn. It's a double story, so it looks like there's like a stairwell off to the side that might lead to bedrooms or places you can stay for lodging. It looks like most of the tables are quite occupied, considering it feels quite busy in here considering the time of day. Lorros,
Sigg,
by all means, what would you like to do?
Yeah, Sigg, Lorros is stepping forward. Sigg, you take these people, find a table. Lunch and drinks are on me. It's because I took my money, you see.
That's very kind. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'm going to stride towards the barman or the bar, and rest my axe beside myself. You know, kind of my relaxation pose of just resting my arm on the axe because it's kind of comfortable and the bar's too low. And lean foot.
Sorry, I was just going to say the guy behind the bar sort of notices you coming, and the closer you get, you notice the bigger the smile on his face. He looks he looks you up and down. He's like, he looks you up and down, and he's like, "Oh, you're a big boy, aren't you? Oh, I haven't seen the likes of you in a long time."
I'm not even sure how to respond to that because, yeah. In fact, I'm going to ignore him, and I'm just going to say to him, "Good sir, I need your second best ale and some food for my friends, please. What have you got?"
The second best? Oh, for a big boy like you, I think you could only have the best. But don't you worry, with a man like you, I'll give it to you for the same price. So that'll be me own ale, the Stonehill Ale, coming right up. How many of there are you?
There are 6 of us, sir. I believe we need ale and food for us all.
And 6 it'll be. It'll be right over. Where are you sitting, young man?
Can I see where Sigg has taken the guys?
So what have you done? What have you sort of moved around within this inn?
Sigg has perused the tavern, found the best tactical location to sit, and is presently sitting in a stool at a table, waving like a maniac.
So I just point towards Sigg and say, "I'll be over there."
Oh, it'll be right over. The finest drink and the finest food. It'll be about 5 gold pieces for the lot of you.
Awesome. I will chuck him. I will just drop 7 gold pieces on the bench, and just say, "There you are, sir. Keep the change."
And he looks at what you've dropped onto the counter. Oh, sir, you will be looked after today. Don't you worry. In fact, you'll be looked after the rest of the week. Oh!
Excellent.
Yeah. And he kind of like, you see him sort of disappear behind the counter, and he waves for the barmaid to come over, and he's just kind of working on your food and drink for now.
Excellent. So I'll go sit with the guys and say, food and ale will be here shortly. What's our plan?
Wow. How generous of you.
Thank you very much.
It's what I do. You're welcome. It's the friendly side of Lorros that you haven't seen.
Cool.
You're a good man, Mr. Lorros. Oh, look, one arrived already. I'll try.
Okay, it looks like you've all got your drinks. Okay.
What's going to hear in this tavern? Is there someone playing?
No, all you can kind of hear is a lot of chatter from around you. It seems there's basically chatter happening at tables all around you, but there's no music, but it's definitely not a quiet place.
So we are just waiting here for the old man to return. Yes?
Well, we have quite
No?
a few hours to kill until night falls. I think we have a little bit of time on our hands. I hate to admit this, but Sigg and I did cause a little bit of a scene, and I'm feeling quite embarrassed about it.
Oh dear.
I really do not like to taint my reputation immediately upon arrival in town, and I fear that's what I've done.
You've got to wait at least
Interesting.
half an hour.
Then we must win some friends.
Mm.
He was a
I
dick.
feel I already have won the barman.
Oh, the barman loves you.
The barman is my friend already, so we're good there.
Yeah.
He seems a good, reputable man.
Good.
As you guys are talking, the barmaid kind of makes her way over, and she's got her arms full. She's got five pints of the finest house ale, and she brings it over and places it on the table in front of you, and she looks over Lorros as well, and sort of just says, "Oh, thanks so much for your coming in. We hadn't had a big man like you in here for quite some time. But are you guys adventurers, are you?" She's quite a stocky lass.
Loris is an
Right.
adventurer.
Lorros isn't an adventurer. He's a low key person who doesn't want to be recognised as an adventurer.
Right. So what would you like to...
Lorros is not answering her. He's just going to go thank her, and he's going to pass her a silver coin and kind of shoo her off on her way.
Excuse me, miss.
Oh, look at this.
Could you tell us a little bit more about the town? We're very new here, and we just would love to learn about its history.
Oh, sure. I mean, what would you like to know? I think I changed the voice for her on that one, but I'm going to go with that one. It's very similar to the barman, awkwardly.
Are they related?
They're not. They're not related at all.
Small
It seems
town.
like a fine town, milady, but I've not heard much of it. I'm surprised. Is it because it's out of the way, or is there some particular reason why a town fine as this is not more famous?
Oh, we're well known enough. Look, what is it you'd like to know? We've got a bit of everything here. We've got a nice provision store helmed by a wonderful, wonderful man who's maybe a little eccentric. We've got a smithy who'll knock together some of the finest mining equipment you'd need. The town master's hall, you'll find our town master. There's a nice little manor off to the east, which, well, let's just say you probably don't want to go there anytime soon. And if you're looking for any kind of equipment of any sorts, you probably want to go see the Lionshield Costa. Old Lanine will have exactly what you need.
Thank you very much.
the manor. You said not anytime soon, just so I can ensure we don't get ourselves in any undue trouble.
Yeah, and
Telling me why?
she kind of hears you sort of pushing on the manor, and she kind of just goes a little quiet, and she says, "Look, I've got other tables I need to see to, but like I said, if you need any gear, if you want to go visiting some people, that's fine, but just stay to the west of the town."
Well, thank you very much, my lady.
Okay, and with that, she kind of wanders off, and she's off to go get your food.
So
I'd
listen,
like to. Sorry.
I was just going to ask, have you heard anything about town? Sigg and I encountered a few rumors on our way around town. What about you?
Nothing but annoying urchins. Very annoying urchins.
Did seem slightly strange. He had a secret before he ran away, but I'm sure it was nothing more than a child's game.
Mm.
And Lorros rubbed his head on a stone.
That's right.
Yes, I
good.
rubbed my head on a shrine thanks to
Right,
Gil's
well.
advice.
Well, that sounds fun.
It was very lucky.
I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was. Yes, Sigg and I did cause a little bit of awkwardness with an irascible shopkeeper. I think his name was Barthen or Spart or something. He threatened us with some kind of red brigade or some people dressed in red, or they were going on and on about it. Have you heard anything about that?
Not a thing.
Keep an eye out. They sound dangerous.
As you mention that, there's a little boy sitting with what appears to be his mum, just kind of like looks over in your direction and is just kind of like transfixed by the lot of you. His mum notices that he's kind of got an eye on you guys and gives him a little smack behind the head, and pulls his attention away.
In a similar way to the War Scholar kind of scouting our surroundings, I'd like to scout the inn, but more from a social and cultural perspective than a strategic or tactical one. Is there anything I can pick up?
Can you give me a perception check, please? Are you trying to listen out for things? Are you just trying to kind of look around and see if there's anything of note within this inn?
I'm trying to get a feel for the demographics, what sort of chatter is happening.
Yeah, sure.
Country music.
All that sort of thing.
yeah. You're trying to read your audience. I get it.
Yes.
All right.
Do they seem like a punk kind of crowd, or more easy listening?
Yeah, with a roll of 16, it looks like the majority of the inn is kind of got a little bit of an older demographic to it. You've got the one young kid sitting with what appears to be his mum. You've got a sort of a dirty miner sitting. He looks like he's been down in the mines recently, kind of sitting there with a few of his friends talking away.
Miner like a kid.
No. There's a miner and a miner. There's both.
A little urchin and a dirty miner.
Yeah. So there's obviously the small child's mother as well. And it looks like then there's a lady sitting there who's just kind of I don't know. She's sort of dressed a little more homely. She's got some needles kind of just like attached to just sort of near her shoulder, just into her fabric, with little bits of thread coming off them as well. But it looks like they're all a little bit older. They're all here just to kind of soak in a bit of the after lunch atmosphere and have a chat with some of the townsfolk.
I see. Thank
What a
you.
crowd.
I'd like to keep an eye on the patronage as the day passes on and into the night.
Yeah, Loris, can you give me a perception check as well?
Of course. Do I get a that magic bonus thing that I got for rubbing my head on things?
Yeah. I'll absolutely chuck that on
Oh,
top as
where
well.
is it?
So for anyone who
Plus
didn't
ability
see,
checks, yeah.
anyone who
That's
didn't
right.
see last week, Loris was fooled into rubbing his forehead against the Shrine of Luck. And what no one else realized, actually no one realizes except for Loris himself, actually not even Loris, David knows, but
Not even-
Loris doesn't know,
yeah.
is that it was the Shrine of Luck, and it has bestowed upon him, within the walls of Phandalin, a bonus to any ability checks.
So that was a perception check, yeah?
Yeah, just give me a perception check.
Where are perception? Okay. Probably need a +2 on this. So just add 2 to whatever I roll here. It's
Alright.
a total of 9.
It's a 9. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're kind of in your normal stoic self, kind of just keeping to yourself. But you have noticed you have garnered a little bit of attention, like just from your size.
Just from being me.
But it didn't help that the barman was so excited to sort of see someone of your like here as well.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Would it be all right if I had a look around to see if there are any animals in the vicinity?
Sure. Yeah.
Bits of the inn or some such.
Yeah. Can you give me a perception check as well?
Yes, I can. But in one moment. Should have brought that up first. All right, I have rolled a 22.
Oh wow, yeah, okay. I was gonna sort of like hint at what maybe you could possibly see within this bar, and maybe see little hints of no, but what you do see, sort of like in the corner, near one of the sort of outside walls, is just a small little mouse hole just in the wall. It doesn't look in like it's not. It doesn't sort of go back to where the back of the house or anything is. It's against one of the walls leading to the outside, and you do just spot a little mouse sort of dart past. And as quick as that, you can see a small cat just come running through and sort of pounce towards the little mouse hole, paw at it, look into it, sort of sniff around a little bit, and then sort of make its way back to its sort of spot behind the bar.
Cute. I love cats.
Yeah.
I'm thinking whether I should talk to this cat or not.
Well,
see if it knows any gossip.
The cat has returned behind the counter, so you're welcome to sort of go and hunt it down if that's what you'd like to do.
I think I will go up to the counter and see if I can get it to come to me.
Okay. So tell me what you're gonna do.
Just gonna walk up to the counter quietly and just gesture at the cat like,
Hello, lass. Is everything okay?
yes, everything's good. Everything's good. Thank you so much for the delicious food. Is that your cat?
Aye.
Is it friendly?
Only if you're not a mouse.
So I'm just like, kitty.
Okay, I'm gonna get you to do I'm gonna say an animal handling roll.
All right, I'm ready. I have rolled a 12.
A 12. The cat kind of looks at you and starts kind of like creeping up to smell your hand. Yeah, just kind of like really apprehensive. But someone just with the laughs raucously in the background, and the cat just kind of takes off back behind the counter.
I'm trying to decide if I should use a magic spell to talk to it or not.
That's up to you. It's kind of it's made its distance now. It's currently kind of like in a back room. You can still kind of see it, but it's off in the distance now.
Maybe later. I don't want to make a scene. I'll just head back to the table.
It's a tough crowd for cats as well as fans.
We already stick out like a sore thumb. I don't want to make it even more obvious.
Yeah, fair enough. Sigg, what would you like to be doing at this point in time?
Sigg has been ingesting this fine ale, and now that most of it has reached his belly, he's going to look around the room to see if he can determine the oldest person in the tavern.
Oh, that is a good.
Kinky.
Okay, let's. Strangely enough, just sort of like as you mentioned that you may remember that last session you guys overheard an old farmer out near the ruined walls of the city. He's just kind of walked in and has become like the oldest guy there in the tavern. Yeah, it's just so he's an old guy. He walks in and he sort of waves over to the barman and just takes a seat. It is what seems to be his favorite spot in the inn.
Upon seeing this, Sigg turns to his fellows. I'll be back in a moment. War scholar, whatnot, you understand. He stands up, carries his book over, sits next to the old man. Evening, sir. A moment of your time, please.
And he's he just kind of keeps to himself. He's kind of he nods to sort of like to acknowledge that you're there, but he's staying tight-lipped.
I've got a question.
Mm-hmm.
Can the rest of the party hear this conversation?
It depends. At the moment, you've probably heard Sigg. He's not too far away. He's probably only 2 tables away. It's a little bit noisy, but it depends. We'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
If this guy even says anything.
Excuse me, sir. Can I ask you some questions?
And
You look to be the most wisest one of this lot.
And he kind of looks over to you, looks back down, and just sort of staunchly nods his head. He's kind of like a real wiry kind of frame to him.
How many summers have you been here, sir?
And he looks over to you. I don't have a face for this guy, but he just kind of grumbles. 45.
You must have seen a lot in these years.
And he just nods staunchly again.
Do you know anything of the defense of this city when it was lost?
That is a deep question. He you know that the sort of the city was destroyed much longer than 45 years ago. He just kind of shrugs his shoulders, and he just mumbles, "I try to keep to myself."
Good place to be.
Unfortunately, Sigg isn't very good at reading people, and he'll sit there for the next half an hour drilling him with all sorts of war scholar questions. History, battles, tactics, town guard rotations, weapons,
Yeah,
and the like.
What you learn from this guy over the next sort of 20-30 minutes is that he goes by the name of Narth, so that's with an N for November. And he's been farming in this town in Phandalin for about 45 years. That's when he got here. He's clearly older than 45, but he spent 45 years farming in Phandalin. He doesn't really know or want to know anything about any of the goings on. He just wants to farm and make his due for the town. He knows that there's a lot of things he wants to stay away from. He mentions the Redbrands, as you've heard about last time. He doesn't have anything nice to say about them, but he also doesn't have anything nice to say about the leadership here either. The other thing that he mentions, seeing that you've got your chainmail and everything on, is he mentions what Miraqen overheard earlier in the day, is that there's a sister who sort of overlooks the Shrine of Luck in the town centre. And she left town for a few days, but came back wounded and exhausted. And once that 30 minutes has passed, he just kind of he's a few drinks in now, and he just kind of like asks you to sort of like, you've learnt everything I can tell you. If you can leave me to my drink, and I will leave you to yours.
Indeed, sir. And I will also leave you with a gold piece for your time. Thank you. Clink!
And he just staunchly nods, places his hand on the gold piece on the table, and places it into his pocket.
One last thing, that Sigg will just sync up his nod stoically like a beast. He knows what's up.
During this 30 minutes, the food has been delivered to your table by Elsa, the barmaid. And again, she looks over Lorros one more time and says, Oh, you sure you're not an adventurer? You look like an adventurer, a big strapping man like you.
Please don't judge me because I'm large. I'm not. nothing further from the truth. Now be gone.
All right. And she kind of, she just lets out a and kind of walks off. And kind of walks off, yeah.
You got humped.
Yeah, you got humped.
Yeah.
And the barman sort of just like gives her a big shrug with a big smile and lets out like a bit of a laugh.
I would like to know, did we overhear any of the conversation with Sigg with those tidbits revealed?
No, Sigg had to be pretty close to this guy to sort of. At first, he wasn't even going to talk. It was the intimate nature of that conversation that helped Nath kind of give Sigg any kind of information. So it probably would have been a little too quiet for you guys.
Right. Well, that whole time that they've been having the conversation, Miraqen's just been dropping tiny bits of food on the floor, just in the hopes that she'll catch the bar cat's eye.
Okay.
Making little grabby hand motions towards it to try and come towards you.
Okay. We'll come back to that shortly. Baron is what's the Baron up to at the moment?
I think I'll be drinking my beer, but I'm gonna be keeping an eye out for any harder stuff. Does it look like there's any stronger spirits or anything in the bar?
Yeah, like from behind the whole room kind of has a nice warm sort of glow to it, but it seems to be from your position emanating from this beautifully kind of honey-colored liquid in a bottle behind the bar. That's basically what your eyes are drawn to. It just looks to be. I mean, you recognize it as a powerfully strong honey mead.
Honey mead.
Yeah.
Okay. Strong stuff. I might just sidle up to the bar and ask, "What's that?"
Okay. All right. Oh, that's my world famous honey mead. Yes. I lost the voice on that one. Sorry.
Oh, that was good.
It was good.
I would have noticed. Was it maybe a mix between a goblin and a?
I think it might have been.
God.
He kind of
Guys.
he leans forward and goes a little serious, and he just sort of says to you, "Boy, this'll really put the hairs on your face. Trust me on that one."
All right. Well, I don't mind if it knocks them off. Can I have? Yeah, I'll order one.
Yeah, he reaches under the bar and pulls up a glass, reaches behind the counter and grabs this bottle and pours an inch or two into the bottom of the glass and slides it over to you and asks purely for 2 silver pieces.
All right. Well, All right. I'll give him 2 silver pieces. But
Yeah.
do I like it? Is it good?
Well, what can we roll?
Roll for me.
Roll
Roll for me.
Give me a Constitution check.
Constitution.
Yeah, see if you can handle the strength of this thing.
I think there's just there's a +1. I'm gonna do a roll. 1d20 plus. Oh, we just did it.
Oh,
A 2. Oh, there'll be a 3.
It's a 3. It's got an exquisitely sweet taste, but the strength of the alcohol content really is insanely overpowering. Yeah. If you do you want to throw it back? Do you want to sip at it? What would you
No,
like?
keep it coming.
Keep it coming.
And can I investigate? I'll just investigate if there's anything a little bit
Yeah.
harder. Wink. Is there anything a bit more?
This is
Yeah.
the hardest thing he's got. With the 2, you can barely sip at it.
Oh.
Yeah. Can I?
No, I mean
Oh, right. And he, the barman finally is cottons on. He's just kind of like, oh, look, the Redbrands are the ones that bring that dirty filth. You're not one of them, are you? That's, oh.
Well, I'm not wearing a red coat, but they don't sound that bad.
Yeah. And he just sort of quietens down, and he puts the cork back into this bottle and places it back on the counter, and he just says, "Anything else?"
No, that's fine. Thanks very much. I'm gonna go ask if there's any other bars.
Okay. Gil, what's Gil up to?
What sort of time is it now?
You guys have been in here for about an hour now. It's about maybe 4:30, so about 90 minutes have passed. We could probably skip forward another half hour, make it maybe 5, and you will have all consumed the food and drink that's sort of been delivered to you guys.
It was good.
It also happens to coincide with just the small ginger cat making its way across after the smell of the food that has been left on the floor. And again, the barman notices what's happening and just sort of lets out a raucous laugh. He understands what's going on. And Miraqen, you find a small ginger cat kind of just eating the little bits of food that you've left at underneath the table.
Excellent. Well, I can't help myself, and I start casting Speak with Animals. So I have put that in the chat. It has a duration of 10 minutes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I have the ability to comprehend and verbally communicate with beasts.
All right. So, yeah, basically it can give you a bunch of information. At the moment, it's just kind of... it's just eating the food. What are you wanting to say to the cat?
Miraqen leans down and goes, and that actually translates to, "What's the goss around here?"
And the cat kind of stops eating its food, and kind of just looks up at you, and without moving any of its mouth or anything like that, you just hear inside you sort of your mind, "What do you mean?"
Unexpected. It's a tough cat.
Yeah. He runs this bar as far as he's concerned.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Well, then I shall speak with respect.
Yeah. So what sort of goss are you looking for?
What's going on around here? Is there any shady business afoot? I'd like to know who the players are in this town and what's going on. What do you know? I'm sure you know so much.
I really wish I had a cat overlay to chuck on, but I don't. The cat just kind of looks you directly in the eyes and is like, "Shady? Well, I'll tell you what. The townmaster's a complete bitch. All right, he's run by those Redbrand assholes."
Intriguing. Tell me more about these Redbrands.
I don't know much, but all I know is they come in here, everyone acts like they know they're up to no good, and all I know, look, if you head up to that manor, I reckon you'll find some of them Redbrand bastards. And he sort of breaks contact with you and starts eating the food off the ground again.
Well, I'll share what I've learned with my party members at the table and see if... Does any of you want to ask the cat a question?
The cat?
The cat,
No.
The cat knows so much. He's a good cat.
Is there any other bars?
I'll ask him.
Thank you. All the good stuff. Where's all the good stuff? This place is a bit dry.
Listen, Ginger, is there any good stuff around here? Some hard stuff. My friend here, he likes to dabble in a little bit of the harder stuff. Where would we go for something like that?
What do you mean the harder stuff? I can get you some premium catnip.
Yes.
Similar to that.
I have no need of such things, but if a humanoid was wishing to get proper wasted, what would you recommend?
The cat almost can't comprehend what you're saying. Look, I see people get wasted every day here, no matter the time. So it seems like you're in the right place to get real fucked.
So you haven't heard of any more illicit substances then?
Look, I only know what goes on here, all right? I don't see nothing else. If you want catnip, I can get you catnip. If you want some mead or some ale, look, the barkeep's back there.
All right, thank you. I'm done with this line of questioning.
All right.
He's a good cat, but he doesn't know as much as I'd hoped.
Okay. All right.
It's pretty rough too.
Okay. So it's 5 o'clock now. You've noticed people sort of coming in and going. There's been no sign of Sildar, who sort of mentioned that he was going to meet you here in the evening. It might not be late enough for it yet, or something could have been holding him up. But he's you can sort of hear some sort of a little bit of a commotion from outside.
Lorros is intrigued by this commotion because he doesn't trust Sildar, and clearly we've been waiting for a long time. So I'm just going to excuse myself. I'll be back. Sigg, come with me, please. I believe we have some important business to check outside. And so I'm just going to wander outside as conspicuously as possible. We'll get the word right. Inconspicuously, which is the least obvious way. I get confused between those two words. I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, you're a big
I'm a big guy.
Goliath
I'm
of a man.
conspicuous, right?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to be as least obvious as possible. But I'm just going to walk out casually and just sort of see what's going on.
All right. So you're just sort of walking out onto the street.
Yeah, with Sigg in tow, obviously, because he's my right hand man.
Yeah, Siggy, are you following? Is
Indeed, Mr. Lorros, I will follow.
Okay, so let's have a look. As you walk out onto the street, you see 5 armed ruffians, basically look like they were waiting for you to come out.
Oh, really?
They're all
Excellent.
They're all humans. They're all just sort of grubby looking, maybe 20 something. Maybe they're in their probably late 20s, early 30s. They've got these kind of grimy red cloaks.
I know the type.
And their hands are on their weapons as they watch you walk out. And the one at the front kind of just looks towards you and says, "All right, mate. Yeah. All right. Look. Oh, we've been hearing
Exactly as I thought that's it.
We've been hearing lots of stories about you, mate. Oh, I think you guys better leave, eh? Why don't you just hand over your stuff and you can just leave, all right? Phandalin don't need people like you."
I'm just going to pause for a minute and stare down. How tall is this vagrant-looking thing?
Him specifically, he's about 6'2".
So short.
For you. The rest seem to be varied in height.
That is my point. So he's a foot shorter than I am. Okay, cool. So I'm going to step right up to him. So my feet are touching his feet, and I'm going to look straight down at him. Just so looking straight down at him, so he kind of literally has to crane his neck to look up at me to sort of see what I'm saying. And I'm just going to look at him, and you've heard what, little man?
Well,
And
I
I'm just
don't
going to
know.
stand there, wait for him.
Let me list them for you, mate. I've got eyes and ears all round this town. Let's see. One of you little cheeky buggers threw a book at a provisions man, Assault. That one's assault. Okay. Secondly, I myself saw you pushing an old man. That's my job. Okay. I'm the one around here who pushes old men. And there's a little boy out here running around saying, "Oh, the adventurers touched me. The adventurers touched me." Look, we don't need any of that stuff around here either. So look, how about you back off?
And he gives you a little push.
Give me your stuff, you monster, and get out of town.
All right. So as he pushes me, I'm just going to allow him to. I'm just take a small step back, just a little fraction of a step back. I'm going to look at Sigg with a questioning look on my face as to sort of, do you know anything about what he's saying? And I'm just going to question, a book at a shopkeeper,
I threw it at that dick shopkeeper. Mr. Guard, is it?
I mean, you could call me that, but, yeah. All right, yeah. I'm a guard, hey, guys?
And he just kind of turns to his mates and they all have a laugh.
Yeah, guard of Phandalin, yeah. All right, mate, yeah.
All right. All right, you funny dick. And Sigg pulls out his book again. All right. How many town guards you got at the moment?
Look, you're looking at
What's your rotations?
You are looking at 5 of the strongest guards. Hey, boys, yeah.
And they all have another raucous laugh at the idea of being guards for the town. Can I get a perception check from both of you guys?
Sure.
Actually, can I get a perception check from all of you guys?
I roll a 12 plus 2, so that's 14.
Okay.
Sigg rolls an 18.
Ooh.
Gil rolled 22.
I have only rolled 7.
Cool.
7.
You're too interested in the cat.
He's very fluffy.
And I think Baron's trying to find the button.
He was the button.
Where's the button?
It's just a D20 for me.
Okay. Well, while we're waiting for the Baron's roll, Miraqen, you're sort of absorbed with what's happening in the bar at the moment. The sound of the bar is kind of drowning out any noise. But Gil and the Baron both kind of noticed that shortly after Lorros and Sigg walked out, that there seemed to be a bit of extra noise coming from there. You guys are definitely aware of. There are some. You can notice that some of the patrons within the bar are kind of trying to take a quick look out the window, or even the opposite, trying to remain sort of disinterested. Lorros, you're sort of face to face with one of these ruffians. There's not much more.
So I'm just gonna
wait one second. And Sigg notices that sort of over the shoulders of these Redbrand guys, you can see just kind of like this short, fat guy. He's kind of got like nice attire on for like a tiny little place like Phandalin, but he's looking kind of worried. He's looking worried. He's looking worried and a little bit on edge. Lorros, what were you about to say?
Sorry, so I was just going to noticing Sigg quit and kind of responding to Sigg's question. I'm just going to say these guards look a bit puny, don't you think? For guys that are supposed to be looking after a town, they're kind of little and insignificant.
And hearing again as soon as you say like looking after the town, these guys just all crack up and they're laughing.
Yeah, look after the town, hey boys, yeah.
Indeed, but with some training, some discipline, perhaps we can improve things around here. So back to the rotations. What are you in the night rotation at the moment?
Look, I've had about enough of this, guys. Not enough of these funny little games you're playing, eh? How about you hand over all your stuff, mate? You've got a nice little, tiny little baby's axe here. How about you hand that over to me? Yeah, and I don't.
Oh,
and if you do that, maybe you don't have to meet my little friend I've got here.
And he's just kind of got this. I need to actually see what he's armed with. He points down at his weapon, of which it is a. Oh, it's a short sword at his side.
Puny little man, step aside with your puny little sword, and you won't get to feel my axe tonight. I choose not to use it tonight. I really don't want to, but if you force the issue, you will regret your questions.
Mr. Lorros, I think these guys aren't guards. I'm just going to go back inside. They're just idiots.
I'm going to nudge Gil and say, hey, those are those guys with the good stuff up there. From the Barthen.
Miraqen's like, what guys? What? Oh, what's happening? What's happening?
Sig's gonna walk back inside.
Towards the window.
There's some idiots out there.
As Sig turns around, one of the ruffians charge him with a short sword, a surprise attack, as you would.
Does he have to pass myself to get him?
I assume you guys were standing. Well, you guys were side by side, yeah.
Were you side by side, Sig, or were you behind me, or slightly to the back of me? I don't know. Because given I
shotgun with Lorros.
Either way, like if it was, I mean, they're kind of like, as you can see on the map there, they're kind of spread out on the road in front of you. Whichever one could run forward and attack does so. And since it is a surprise attack, let's have a quick look here. It is with advantage and rolls a 19.
Sig's armor class is 19.
Yeah, so basically this short sword gets you right in the side of the ribs as he charges you. And what I'm going to have to do now...
Are you safe if he is a 19 and he rolls a 19? Or is that a hit or a miss?
It's a hit.
Yeah, that's a hit. I am going to get you all... I need to empty off all of your scores from the last time. But we're going to get everybody to roll initiative.
Gil rolls
Yeah.
a 60.
Oh, wait a minute. I mean, wait a second. Oh, everybody roll initiative. Let's put the animation on. Roll initiative. Okay, cool.
I got a 5.
I have rolled a 21.
Oh, nice.
Did you?
0.16.
You didn't select your token, though,
No,
did you?
Gil got a
Oh,
16.14.
I can add you on, don't worry.
always with the
I have rolled a 7. Oh, man.
Add turn. What did you get? Oh, sorry, I added Lorros twice. Where are you? You're there. What did you roll? Sorry, Miraqen?
21.
21.
Somehow the last to notice, yet the first to act.
And Sig?
Brilliant.
Sig, did we get a roll from you?
Sig wonders if he took any damage from that attack.
Oh, yes, you took let's have a look. I think it was 8 piercing damage to the side.
Ooh.
A biggie.
It is.
In response, Sig rolls a 15 for taking 8 damage, did you say?
Yeah, 8 damage. Okay, so with that, we've got a fight on our hands. Miraqen, the one who has yet to even notice anything going on. It is
Just noticed.
Yeah, it's your turn. You're top of the order.
Well, because I'm inside the tavern and they have not yet come in yet, I will just ready an attack for as soon as they reveal themselves.
Okay.
As soon as the situation is revealed.
Is there anything specific you're waiting to see? Just so I
I'm
know.
waiting to learn from either my party or the attackers that there's a situation that needs defending.
Okay,
Is there any kind of scream from Sig as he got stabbed? Or completely stole control?
Well, Sig, are you a screamer? Is that the kind of thing?
Are we aware that he's stumbled into the tavern injured?
He hasn't stumbled in yet. He basically turned and went to move in, and someone charged him and stabbed him. So he's not within the door of the inn yet.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, that's my turn.
Okay. Gil, you are up next.
I'd like to step out onto the street, first of all.
Please.
That's Suki smooth transition. And I'd like to assess the situation.
All right. So what you what you see is you sort of make your way through the doorway of the inn. Sig facing you on your left, with a look of pain on his face. And attached to his back is a small short sword in the arms of a ruffian. One of these sort of average height humans with this mangy sort of red coat or cloak on his back. And and he's got a bit of a snarl to his face. Next to Sigg, on your right, is Lorros, standing there face to face with one of the other red cloaked
Face
men.
to chest.
Face to chest. So the one that Lorros is obviously face to face with is that one, and there's two others with their hands on their short swords. One of them, the one on Sigg's, not the one that's attached to Sigg, but the one next to him. So this one here is. Oh, actually, no. Sorry. No, they've all got short swords.
I see. I'm going to do something that's kind of maybe slightly outside of the order of operations that it should be. But I have a song. So I step out into the street and I say, everyone, I've really come to love your town. And I have a song for you. Heading down south to the land of the mines, thumbing my way to North Phandalin, staring up the road and I pray to tear, I see lamplights. Made it down the coast in 17 hours, killing me a bouquet of bugbear followers, and I'm a hoping for Valley I can meet my baby tonight. Oh, rock me, mama, like a stone giant, rock me, mama, like a Goliath. Hey, mama, rock me, mama, like a gust on a rainy day. Rock me, mama, any kind of way. Hey, mama, rock me. And I'm going to cast Unearthly Chorus.
Oh, this is a new one, yeah?
Yes.
It's a good one.
Okay, so
Music
this...
is the style. I choose folk.
Nice.
Country, specifically. It fills the air in a 30-foot radius. Music spreads around corners and can be heard from up to 100 feet away. The music moves with me, and it's centered on me for the duration. Until the spell ends, I make performance checks with advantage, and I can use my bonus action on each of my turns to beguile a creature within 30 feet of me that can see and hear the music.
Wow.
I wish to beguile the leader of the group.
All right. So, what do we need to roll to check that? Choose
I
one of
would
the
guess
creature, a
it's a
charisma
sort of-
saving throw. All right. Let's see how he does with this. Oh, he fails. He's rolled a 6.
Beguiled.
Against let's have a look. Until the spell ends, as long as it can hear the music, and for 1 hour thereafter. Okay. Oh dear. And the guy that's sort of like face to face with Lorros just kind of like, he hears the music and he just kind of like something hits him, and he's just kind of made a little more passive.
I'd like to suggest, good sir, that you and your friends leave us be here for now. As you can see, we are lovers of this town as well, and we mean it no harm.
Yeah, leave you be. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, all right. No harm, no foul, eh, guys? Yeah. All right, guys. Well, hey, look, love your music, mate. Well, maybe if you're playing in here another time, we'll come and have a listen. What do you think about that, hey, guys? Guys, you like that?
Yes, please come back.
And he kind of he's saying that to his pals, and they just find it amusing. They're sort of laughing at him, and he doesn't really understand sort of why they're all laughing. Yeah, I think. Is there anything else you'd like to do on your turn?
Well, I'm assuming that's my action and my bonus action as well, is to beguile him. So
all right,
I'll end my turn there.
All right, Sigg, it's your turn.
Oh, what the bloody hell are you doing, you idiot? And Sigg's going to turn around and look at the guy that just stabbed him.
Yeah, and
What does he see?
He's just he sees this snarling ruffian who looks strangely identical to the other guy that was talking.
Yeah, all right, mate. Yeah, all right. You like that? I got more where that come from, buddy. More than where that one came from.
And he's still just holding on to his sword.
And with that, Sigg will fend off his blade and retreat back to the tavern, yelling, "Bandits! Bandits! Come help! There's bandits!"
Okay. So you're moving away from him? All right. So that's
Sigg will disengage.
Oh, all right. Okay. All right. That's good. I just need to. Oh yeah. No, that's cool. Cool. All right. So you're moving back into the tavern.
And with his remaining bonus factor, he will try and summon the patrons of the tavern to come and aid his cause.
Yeah, they all kind of they see you burst into the room calling about bandits, and they all turn away from you. They don't want anything to do with this. Unfortunately, they've not one of them in there wants anything to do. And the small boy, with his mother starts kind of like nestling into her a bit more and sort of like is clearly upset and scared. So we'll move over to the ruffians. And this main one, the main one that was sort of face to chest with Lorros, takes a step backwards, and he's trying to rally his troops, his guys.
Come on, guys. These guys don't mean no harm. We'll go back to we'll get up back home, and maybe we'll come back in another time here, guys. Another time. Don't worry about it. And he just starts making his way up the path, assuming that like his friends are just going to follow behind.
So is he leaving my zone of attack?
He is. He's not disengaging. He is just.
So he's just walking away from me.
Yeah, that's right.
So I could choose to attack him then as he leaves my zone.
You absolutely could. Now I need to read up about charm, but I assume attacking him is going to break the spell.
I would assume so. It doesn't specifically say that in the spell, but it would be rational.
It'll be classified as charm, though, right?
I don't believe it specifically is charm, but I think it probably would. Perhaps merchant is in the chat.
Yeah, it just says you beguile. I don't know what. The charmer has advantage on any interact socially. Blah blah blah. Actually, it doesn't even say under charmed that it stops. Actually, so that's fine. You can totally attack this guy without repercussion if that is what you'd like to do.
I can see Sigg smiling away, thinking, yes, I'm going to chop someone in half, but I'm actually not. I'm going to choose not to attack because...
They'll split a Rooney. Yeah.
Because I promised myself I wasn't going to attack, so I'm not, and this is my internal monologue. I want to attack this guy because he seems like a filthy little...
Who do you
prick.
mean? I.
I'm talking
mean
Lorros.
Lorros or Dave?
Lorros. No, Lorros. Lorros instinctively wanted to attack this person because he's clearly a dirty little shit. But I'm trying to make myself better and trying to go away from my barbaric, marauding, destructive ways. So I'm trying to be nice to people here, and I don't want to create more trouble in the town than has already been created thanks to Sigg and Miraqen. So
What?
I'm just gonna tap him on the shoulder as he turns. I'm just gonna grab him by the shoulder, just to stop him, and say, "Be mindful when you come back that you don't go around insulting people bigger than you." And then I'm just gonna let him go.
So, John, what you asked him to take his friends and leave, right?
Yes.
Now, can I get a persuasion roll from you, please, Lorros?
Sure. Can we not use intimidation? I mean, I'm happy to use persuasion as well, but my intimidation is better.
I'll tell you what, I will let you pick, but they have different different connotations, yeah?
Okay, I'll use persuasion because they're both the same, so it doesn't matter.
Okay.
And I'll add 2 to it. It's a 13.
Okay. The you've tapped him on the shoulder, and he kind of turns back to you, and he's still kind of got that sort of glassy look in his eyes. But he looks at you, and it kind of clears up just a little bit when he looks at you. You know, he's not charmed by you.
No.
So what exactly did you say? So you wanted him to be careful, is that right?
I just wanted to be mindful when he comes back that not to go around threatening people that are bigger than him.
Yeah.
Just if he does come back.
Yeah. Oh, he looks at you.
That was the wrong one.
Yeah, that was the wrong
He got
one.
you. He appears younger.
He looks at you, and he sort of looks down at his sword, and he goes, "Size don't mean nothing to me, mate. All right. Look, I'm leaving you well alone, but trust me, you're lucky that this is happening. All right." And he looks towards Gil, and he says, "Yeah, brother, we'll see you later, mate. Okay, right, why don't you come up sometime and say hi to Glassstaff, mate? He'd love a bit of you. All right, come on, boys." And with that, he kind of just makes his way. He makes his way further up the street, and all of the ruffians sort of disengage, and make their way towards the east. Is there anything you guys would like to do before they disappear from view completely?
I'd like to turn around and see if the tavern took in my performance as well.
I'm going to make a charisma check for the entirety of a tavern.
Can I roll performance?
Okay, yeah, sure.
I believe if they're under the effect of my spell, I get advantage.
Well, they failed their charisma save anyway, so they're all very friendly towards you, but they really didn't like the song. So you can sort of hear people. You can hear people inside going, "Oh, he scared away the Redbrands. That was great." And then you can hear someone else go, "Yeah, but that song was fucking awful, wasn't it? Yeah, but oh, he's so good, yeah." And that's kind of just like the atmosphere that you can get from within the inn. And these Redbrands, as they would put it, they jog on, don't they?
Go wrong.
Did I see Sig getting stabbed?
No, you wouldn't have seen that.
I wasn't looking out the window.
Yeah, but Sig is now inside the tavern bleeding. So I mean, yeah. What was that, American?
Oh, sorry. I was saying she sees him bleeding and calls out, "Are you all right? What's happened?"
Oh, no, I've been stabbed.
Here, let me help you before you bleed all over these poor people's floor. So she calls out to him, "Dulan Andreas," and casts Healing Word for 3 healing damage.
Nice.
I'm gonna call the police.
Okay. Are you just running outside and yelling for the police?
I'll go over to the bar and slap my hand and call the police.
Okay. Wait a minute. Where's my man? The police, mate! Oh, don't you know where you are, mate? There's no police here. Oh, we've got a townsmaster, but he's pretty useless. I mean, if you go outside, he's a fat fuck. You might see him.
So you've got no police, but you still got no drugs. What a shit town.
Yeah, I mean, if you need to sweet talk the Redbrands, I think, by the sounds of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to, but it looks like they stabbed Sig.
And I mean, you never know what Barthen's got in his supplies if you sort of sweet talk him. I mean, who knows?
I've never met him.
Well, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Should have gone to Barthen's.
Yeah. Lorros, what you did see once the Redbrands left was the portly fellow who was sort of standing behind them over here. He as they cleared away, you spotted this guy, and he's looking worried, and he's wiping his brow with a small like handkerchief, and he's like, and he's kind of lets out a big sigh of relief, and he goes to turn and make his way south.
You stop! Come
And
here, fat man.
And he just kind of like, oh, actually, yeah, he'd hear you. He just kind of like stops. He just like jolts. And
How far away is he? Just
like he's a good like 30 meters away. So what's that? 90 feet? Is it? No, the other way around. I don't know. I don't know how to feet and metric and meters work. It's about 30 meters away. 90. It's 90 feet, right? Something
90
like that.
feet. Yeah, it's like 3 feet to a meter, or 2.4 or thereabouts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so it's quite a way away, but he heard me.
Yeah. And he stops, and then he just starts moving a little faster.
Oh, I can't be bothered chasing a fat man. Not really. Like, Lorros isn't that interested in fat men or ragamuffins. He's just kind of wondering where the old fella is who promised that he'd be here.
Yeah.
And I'm just getting slightly annoyed. So I'm just and tired of all the silly bullshit. So I'm just gonna wander back inside and sit my butt down on my chair again and wave to the barman for another ale.
Yeah. As you sort of do that, oh, sorry, Sig, did you want to?
As Mr. Lorros walks in, Sigg will shout out now that he has his sword ready. What's the situation out there, Mr. Lorros?
They left. And I'm carrying on.
Is Sig going to do anything with that information?
Sigg will put his sword away and wonder what went on there.
Okay, so as you make your way up to the barman, the mother of the small child kind of makes her way up to the counter as well. Gil, what are you doing at this point?
I'm kind of on my bard's notebook trying to scribble down improvements to the song. I'd really like it to become a local favorite.
Okay. All right. The have you made your way back into the inn as well?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So yeah, basically the mother of this small boy, both of them are kind of approaching the you and the innkeeper, and the innkeeper sort of lets out a, "Oh, it's me lovely wife. How you doing? You're not too scared, are you, little sonny boy?" And the little boy sort of like shakes his head, and there's the innkeeper's wife. She leans over and says, "Oh, you're not the first person to stand up to them Redbrands. Old Fell, 10 days ago when they came by his shop and they laid at his wife, he stood up to them too. But you know what they did? They murdered him. Several people saw it happen. It was horrible. The Redbrands grabbed his body, and now his wife, his daughter, and his son have all gone missing too."
That's awful, lady.
Right, who's that?
Awful.
So this was the innkeeper's wife telling you about a local woodcarver by the name of Fell, who stood up to the Redbrands.
Do we all hear this?
Lorros and Gil hear that, but you guys are seeing, like, you can see there's a lot of passion in this woman's voice as she's talking to Lorros. Can you give me a perception check?
Yes, I can.
Because Miraqen and Sigg are kind of busy healing in a healing mode, right? So,
I have rolled an 18.
yeah. So you're hearing that. You can hear. You've heard that story.
With that, I rush up.
Okay, great.
And start listening.
Perhaps
sorry.
avoid conflict with these. What were they called? Red coats?
What was your
Redbrands, I believe. Redbrands.
And perhaps we could avoid conflict with them and simply talk it out. They seem like perfectly reasonable, rational people. You saw they left when I asked them to. That
And
was
there's
good.
a look
Murder
of,
someone?
yeah, the lady has a look of anger on her face when she hears this, and she says, "Reasonable people don't go around murdering, do they?"
No,
No,
I
they most
suppose-
certainly don't.
Not usually.
I don't know what you managed to do out there, but that is not the norm.
Well, they
Well,
sound
I am not the norm, milady.
smooth.
And Tom,
Take a sip of my ale.
the innkeeper just goes, "Oh, look at the wee elf boy, eh? Oh, trust me, you're gonna need to be a little bigger than that to please this lady."
I bet I would, you handsome devil.
But he, but then he sort of he goes a little more somber, and he sort of like he basically talks to he faces what is this, Sigg? What's that? People are saying Sigg is dead. That's not good. Why is Sigg dead? Sigg should be dead. Oh, he's not there. He's gone. Okay, interesting. Yeah. So the barkeep so, like goes a little more straight faced, and he sort of talks to his wife. I know it was a horrible day, and we don't know where his poor family are. We don't even know if they're alive, but trust me, I'll keep you safe. And she kind of smiles up at him, but there's clearly an issue that these people have again with the Redbrands.
So just quietly, I'm going to sort of just turn my head to Gil and quietly kind of look at him and say, "Gil, do we need to be doing anything to help these people, or are we still waiting for the old man to come back?"
Good question. I would think perhaps we could persuade Sildar to help us with these people. We surely can't just leave this town in the grips of these thugs.
From what I saw, they're barely thugs, but yes.
This is
I concur.
exactly why the spirits have led us here. We must help whoever we can. We cannot let murderers get away with making these townspeople quiver in fear. This is not right.
Should we not find proof before hunting these foul things down?
Yes, we should. Good point.
I think
Can we-
the sword in Sigg's back would be proof, would it not?
Yeah, and the innkeeper's wife says, "I can show you the blood that left the body of poor Thal if you need proof."
Tell us about the town master. Surely he has something to say about this brigandry.
Yeah, and the barkeep just spits onto the floor next to himself. "That pompous fat fuck wouldn't know how to do anything. He's a chicken shit. I hate that guy. Don't even get me started. He lets them just run however he wants. Don't even mention him. Oh, the fat bastard."
Well, there's no need to body shame the poor bloke.
If he's the man that I saw virtually rolling down the road, then the description is accurate.
Yeah.
Perhaps
Don't
we
even
should-
worry about going to him. They basically tell him how to do his job. He's useless. Don't look. Just please, we need to get rid of them once and for all.
You seem like a man that we should put in charge. Perhaps we should rid the town of this fat leader that you have.
Oh, I'm hard pressed to disagree with you on that one. I do love this town, and it kills me. Kills me every time those Redbrands show up.
It seems to me, Gil, that the Redbrands are perhaps in the pocket of the current town master. If we rid the town of one, we may rid the town of both.
So if this horrible town's master is such a problem, why is he not simply voted out? Is it not a democracy here?
Our
point.
way's kind of a little simple. We don't try to police anything after what happened back when the city got ruined. It's kind of whoever wants the job does the job. And if I was to just take that up, who would run this place? I mean, Stonehill Inn. It's me name. My name's Toblin Stonehill. I couldn't give this up without really thinking about things. I look after what I need to look after, make sure my wife's right. I make sure my kid's right. And, I try not to serve any of them Redbrands in here.
How about we go and investigate the woodworker's house that got abducted he got killed and his family got abducted. Maybe there's some evidence there.
Seems a fine place to start.
And keep an eye out for Sildar while we do that.
True.
Although, what time of day is it now?
All right, it's getting close to dark. It's about 6:30 at the moment.
Well, perhaps we should rest a night. I, for one, don't like to be out on unfamiliar streets in the dark. Who knows what could be lurking in the shadows?
I agree. I would like to rest before venturing on hunting down vagabonds.
I think we should take the cover of darkness for our investigation, should we not?
That's when it gets fun.
Well, I did just forget that I had dark vision, so there is that.
True. It's all daytime.
Elves. Fucking elves.
I'm so great. I just forget how good I am sometimes.
Okay, so yeah.
This is one of those moments that Lorros is not enjoying. I can't see in the dark. He's reasonably injured and was looking forward to a nice evening. And now the elves are wanting to go out hunting.
You're injured.
It's just,
yeah. We may
I
have,
didn't take any of the berries.
I know that we have some to spare amongst us. I have 3 myself. Would you like some?
Sure. If it
That
means
was very difficult for you, wasn't it? Here you go. Take 2.
to remind me again what these things do. They're like 1 hit point each, aren't they?
Yes.
I'll just consume them because I've got nothing better to do with my life right now.
I believe Gil has 1 and Daran has 2 at the moment.
Where's my hit points? You can have my 2. I'm healthy.
If you don't want
beer.
them.
Yeah, you bought me
For
a beer.
Thank you. Very kind.
Okay, let's put it to a vote. This is democracy. We're forward-thinking people. Even though I am a noble, I'm not going to tell everyone what to do. Who wants to go out at night time and who wants to have a rest now? Put your hand up if you want to go have a rest. 1, 2.
Oh!
Stay on, mate.
If only Sigg was here to break the stalemate.
I would, without Sigg being here, I would say that he'd probably be keen to go. He'd be following Lorros's lead, right? Well, wait, what did Lorros want to do? Rest.
Yeah,
Oh,
Lorros would quite happily.
Okay.
Lorros would quite happily go to bed, have a rest, and get up in the morning and go then beat up some thugs if that was required. He doesn't like dark.
You
can't
at
see
least
in the
wait
dark.
the dildo?
I mean, it's not like there'd still be some sort of like light going around in
Is
the
the
town.
town
but it would
lit?
be-
Does the town have like street lamps?
It's got like flames, like torches.
They've
up and
invented
about.
flames in Phandalin.
Yeah. You wouldn't be under the cover of darkness completely. Like you'd be able to stick to the shadows if you wanted to.
Okay, if everyone wants to go out and find some more, I don't know, trouble, I guess Lorros will come along and assist where he can. It seems you guys like getting in trouble and Lorros has to cut people up, but so be it.
Plus, if we go out at night time, we might see an actual bar
I think
Honeymead bar.
an ulterior motive presents itself.
That's not a surprise with the Baron.
We don't have to make a beeline for the woodworkers.
Yeah. It's up to you guys what you guys want to do. So if you guys are heading out or calling it a night, so is it heading out?
Well, I'll reluctantly tag along, although I do feel a little naked without my access to magic spells.
Oh, you don't have any magic.
So no running into danger. I cannot help you.
I'm sure there wouldn't be any danger.
Hmm.
Never is. I have to go though, so I don't want to leave when Sigg has already disappeared.
Oh.
Sigg can't
Oh,
be
well, okay.
far
Well,
away.
why don't we take our standard 5-10 minute break now?
Okay.
Then? Yeah. And you can disappear. And so maybe what the Baron does is stays in the in-house himself and is just basically drinking that honeymead to completion.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
It's sickly sweet.
yeah. And hopefully Sigg will be back very shortly. But so we'll just take a little bit of a break now. So yeah, basically what you missed is that the innkeeper's wife told the crew about the last person who stood up to the Redbrands was a woodworker who was murdered at his workplace by standing up to them. His wife, his son, and his daughter, I believe, have all gone missing. They just went missing shortly after his death. Yeah, and then I believe there was a big discussion on whether or not people were going to hang around or go and investigate the woodworker's place for any sort of clues. And while you guys decide, the Baron is sitting at the table just drinking hard. He's not going to be following you guys. He's focusing on drinking. So, what's the decision?
Yes, we were debating whether we have a long rest and recharge ourselves, or whether we go running off around the streets in the dead of night.
Well, dead of night. It's about 6:30.
Dead of night.
The dead of night.
If Miraqen wants it to be the dead of night, it's the dead of night.
It will be the dead of night.
We've got to let the little kids have their fun.
So, what do you think, Sigg? How are you feeling?
Very sore, but thank you much for your healing skills, Miraqen. Mr. Lorros, I know you are combat ready at any time, but I know that in the dark I'm not as good. What do you think?
Nor I. Good to. I too was a bit hesitant to go out in the semi-light as I don't see so well. But we have 1.5 elves with us that can see clearly enough, I'm sure.
Actually, I don't know if half elves can. What's that?
Yes, I can.
Can't one of your eyes? One of his eyes has dark
One of
vision,
my
I think.
eyes.
Well, it seems like maybe the scales are tipping in favor of a long rest overnight in this lovely town.
It would seem with the Baron attempting to drink himself under the table, it would make sense for us to perhaps rest up. Though I would prefer that we undertake this without being seen. But I am happy to defer to the wisdom of the party.
Right. Well, let's take a rest then. I've got a lot on my mind. I've got this beautiful new herbalism kit to play with, so that might be fun.
Cool. So, sort of as we discussed, you kind of wanted to make sure that you could use that herbalism kit to craft potions in your downtime. During a long rest, you do need to have 4 hours of meditation plus 4 hours of quiet time. I reckon we could probably say 4 hours of quiet time could be sitting there brewing your health potion. You can get 1 potion for every 4 hours of brew time. But it will also cost you 25 gold pieces worth of materials.
Right. And how many do I have? Oh, I have. Oh, how many did you say? 25.
25.
Ooh, that's over half my money.
Potions are worth a lot of.
Maybe.
Miraqen, if you're looking for coin, I can help you out with that. Your healing has been invaluable to my bleeding.
I am gonna because it's specific to Miraqen's herbalism kit. I don't think it would be fair for people to just bankroll her health potion creating. I'm basically saying she can use 25 gold pieces worth of material, that like herbs and stuff that she's found, or she can pay $25 and we just skip like the collecting part. But it has, I'm not going to let, at the time of creation, money pass hands.
All right. Well, I'll still do it, but that's the last one that we'll be seeing unless I go make some money.
The night's still young.
Talking of trying to pimp out your players.
Let's not roleplay anything.
No, I'm not ready to. I'm not ready to be that NPC.
Not really.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, if you guys are gonna call it a night, we can say that there's a long rest has taken place. Is there anything you guys would like to do before that long rest takes place?
I think I'll just be drinking with the patrons and trying to take in some local folklore and understand a little bit more about the town, like what exactly the Lionshield Costa is, what's been happening, going on that we haven't already covered.
Okay. How about the rest of you? I can talk to John about what he's learning, but what is the rest of you planning to do between? It's like I said, it's about 6:30 at night. I'd assume you guys are going to get up around. What is Sigg drawn? A sad face.
Sigg has drawn the face of his attacker.
Mate.
That's fantastic. He was a bit scruffier, not like a full beard, but he was definitely scruffy. Yeah. So we'll say that you guys. What time do you guys want to get out of bed? Obviously.
I'd like to ask the opinion of the War Scholar on if he has any suggestions what spells I should prepare for the next day.
Indeed, my knowledge of spells is weak, but your vines have been of particular use. I can see us haranguing our enemies with those. And these Redbrands seems like they need sorting out.
Yes. All right. That's a good point. I'll do so. All right. I've made my decision.
Okay, great. So, Lorros, is there anything you want to do before calling it a night?
I believe early to bed, early to rise. So I intend to go to bed, sleep, and be up at the crack of dawn to get started on our search. And hopefully, at some point, that old fart has stumbled into the bar and hasn't gone far.
Okay. All right. So you guys rest up. John, what Gil kind of learns throughout his time in the bar is he's kind of been playing it safe, just listening in on conversation, making friends with a few things. You've talked to the barmaid a little bit more. She's sort of mentioned that there was there's an orchard keeper on the outskirts of town. Where is that? Where is the orchard? At the top left of the map there, the Edermath orchard. She mentions that Daran Edermath used to be an adventurer as well before sort of settling down here. She mentions that there's another farm called the Alderley Farm, which is run by she's quite gossipy. She's ready to sort of tell you everything about this town. She talks to you about how that's run by a halfling and her son, who just loves adventures, who probably would love to meet a bard. That's for sure. Yeah, she mentions the sadness of losing the local woodworker and that they haven't managed to find a replacement for him yet. You also sort of hear some ramblings about how for some reason the Redbrands just kind of stay away from the Phandalin Miners Exchange. They seem to not really want any trouble with the owner there. And again, you learn just a little bit more about the Lionshield Costa. That the owner of Lionshield Costa is a... Sorry, what's that noise? What's going on?
It's a lion.
Lionshield Costa, yeah. It's run by a lady by the name of Linene, who's a very, very strong-willed, very strong sort of youngish lady. And that's kind of those are the main things. You hear some more rumblings just about that the Shrine of Luck. So now you've learnt that it is in fact a Shrine of Luck. And they were laughing. Someone in the bar was sort of laughing at the fact that you managed to get someone to rub their head against it, and you have a bit of a laugh with them about that. But then there is the conversation, the conversation about how the person who tends to that did go away for a little while and came back bruised and exhausted and almost like she'd been attacked. So you've kind of spent the evening learning a lot about this town from that barmaid, while the rest have gone to their rooms. Miraqen.
Does Gil pass any of this along?
We'll have to see. We'll have to see. At the moment, you guys have all retreated to your rooms, which, under the 7 gold pieces that Lorros threw at the barman, he's given you tonight on the house.
Woo.
Yeah. So with that, we can wake in maybe 6 as the sun rises.
Oh.
No sign of Sildar?
No sign of Sildar.
Troubling.
Yeah.
Over breakfast the following morning, I relay what I learned the night before.
Cool. Perfect.
And I also take a moment to show off what I worked on while everyone was sleeping.
Ooh.
That's
Miraqen, is it berry flavor?
Why, yes, it is. Wow, that's a lot of information, Gil. A lot of information indeed.
That's fantastic.
I just don't even know where to start with all of this. Oh, wow. Troy.
I'm going to beat up that dick.
Sigg, you're so talented. Does he roll for illustration?
All right, as you guys sort of convene at the table, the innkeeper sort of has heard you guys stirring and sort of has made sure he's down just in time to greet you at the bar, and he goes, "Oh, I hope you slept well. Would you like some breakfast? We like a good breakfast around here."
Excuse me, Mr. Barkeep. Where are the town guard?
I thought we told you last night. There's no guards around. We don't have guards. We have. We kind of look after ourselves.
That is much more troubling than I expected. Who around town would know the history of this place and what I can discern from its battles?
All right. I mean, I've kind of given you the backstory of Phandalin. What? Let's have a look. I can sort of copy that into the chat if you like, just to give you.
I'd also like to query just how's our friend Baron doing
So I'm just gonna.
after his long night of drinking?
Yeah,
How's he looking?
I'm just going to copy this into the chat for Reece there, because this is what you learnt from Sildar. So that's everything that Sildar gave you in regards to the backstory of what has happened here. Cool. So what's happening with the Baron? He's unconscious on one of the tables right now.
Troubling.
Yeah, or at least he would be, but there's kind of like a wizard-shaped sweat patch on one of the tables, and it looks like the innkeeper has kind of maybe tucked him away into a bed upstairs. I don't think we'll be seeing much of the Baron quite yet.
Mm.
Perhaps we should go about our morning and catch up with the good Baron later today.
Agreed.
I did not expect him to have quite such a love for substances.
Neither did I.
Hmm.
All right. So, what would you guys like to do? Where would you like to go next? I've kind of given you like a bunch of different directions you could go.
It seems we should check out the woodworker's shop. Are there any pressing matters we might need to attend to? Anybody? Perhaps we should pay a visit to Barthen and apologize for yesterday.
Well, I wouldn't mind dropping in and letting him know there was no ill intent. I feel we made quite the bad impression on him.
I do believe we're making more of this than it was. He's just a dick.
Do we still have the book, or did Sigg return the book?
The back of his head has the book.
The back of his
You
head.
return the book at pace.
Yeah.
All right. So there really is no reason to apologise except for the fact that the shopkeeper couldn't catch.
Well, if you have a conscience, one would see a need, but well, not all of us have such things.
We are here in their town on their good graces. It would behoove us to act as such.
Perhaps we could just pay him to keep him quiet.
I don't have much money to throw around.
I'd happily give him another coin if he pisses off.
I'm more than happy to go talk to the gentleman and see that he doesn't cause us any trouble.
That sounds menacing.
Oh, Lorros.
I'm trying to be nice.
Well,
You have your skills with your axe, and I would ask that you let me handle the talking on this one. Myself and Miraqen, I'm sure, would be more than capable of setting the record straight.
well, Gil
This
here,
I'd like to see.
Gil here.
I'll come with.
I'm not as good in person. I tend to get flustered and call people tiny-minded cabbage heads when they get flustered. And I think we'll leave the talk to Gil, if anything.
Perhaps I should
Agreed.
lead the negotiations.
Yes, please.
Sigg flicks Gil a gold coin. You can do that with your will. Because he's a
thank you.
dick and he probably needs paying.
I see. I'd like to head towards Barthen's provisions and see if he's open yet.
Okay. Are you guys all going as a group, or is it just you going?
I'll
I'll
tag
follow
along.
Gil because I want to see this.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. As you guys pass the smithy, he shouts out to Sigg. Oh God, I totally forgotten this guy's voice. Let's see if I can remember it. You metal man, over here!
Indeed, Mr. Smith. I presume you're talking to me.
Yes, that's right. Look, I've had a wee think about what you were after last time. I was creating this sword for someone. Down Lenine, I don't know if you know her. She owns the Lionshield Costa down south of the town center. If you're looking for weapons, maybe... Look, this isn't the first I've made for her, and it's probably not the last. I just try not to do these ad hoc for people. So give her a chat and look, I heard about you guys chasing off these Redbrands, so you're all right with me.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. We'll go see this lion lady of yours. Keep up the good work.
All right. And he just kind of nods and gets back to work. All right. So you guys make your way to the provisions, Barthen's provisions.
Yeah.
Yes, and I'd like to knock on the door.
And you can hear from inside, come in to Barthen's provisions.
Hello there, Mr. Barthen.
Welcome. Look, I don't mean to be a dick or anything, but the big guy behind you, he's not my best friend right now. He stole from me. Did you see the Redbrands?
We did see the Redbrands, and we had a very reasonable chat with them. They agreed the best thing was for them to come back another time.
Interesting.
And I would just like to offer our apologies for this obvious miscommunication that has happened yesterday. It would seem that our customs do not intersect with your own in some of the ways one might expect. And for that, I do apologize.
Cool. So Barthen is. I didn't really describe him last time. He's a thin, kind of bony man in his 50s. He looks older than he should at that age, and he's kind of a little more hunched over and wiry and small. And he's kind of rubbing his hands together, and he's like, "I accept your apologies, but I would like to hear it from the man himself."
But of course.
Is he accusing me of stealing from her, or is he accusing Sigg?
Sigg.
That's all right then, because
But of course, he did, of course, return the book. Perhaps not from what I heard, not in the manner you might expect. But like I said, that was one of the customs that his people are used to, that perhaps catches others off guard.
Indeed. Very good, Mr. Gill. He won't get that one.
I have to admit, catching a book to the back of my head did keep me off my guard.
Mm.
Look, I need to be honest with you guys. I didn't want to call the Redbrands on you. In fact, they're not even my favorite people in this town, if I'm going to be honest. I pay a good gold piece or two to keep them away from me, and in fact, you'll probably find the majority of the stores here do the same. Look, I can see you guys are fighters. Well, at least that the chainmail man with the book-throwing arm, he seems like a pretty good fighter. And good God, look at that monster outside. He's huge. Look, I'll pay you well with what I can if you can do something about these Redbrands. They're I don't know if you've ventured to the east of the town, but there is another small alehouse that they frequent. I believe the name is the Sleeping Giant. I'll give you a good 30 gold, which is equivalent of what I'd be paying them for the next year anyway.
30 gold. My goodness. That is quite a lot.
And he reaches
Seems I
down.
misjudged you.
He reaches down under the counter and says,
And I'll throw in this hammer I've got. It's pretty cool.
and he pulls out this mangy hammer that he obviously idolizes. He loves it.
Are we
it's just a hammer.
sure that you want us to harm them in some way?
I just need you to stop them from harming us. Surely you've heard of the woodworker?
Yes, we have. I would say, good sir, we are not simple brigands like the Redbrands. I would have to confer with my colleagues. Please hold on to your coin for now. But we do intend to do something about them. Exactly what yet? We're still working that out.
And he kind of steps back from the counter and ponders what you've said. And he says,
Sure, but is there anything I can help you with while you wait? I've got some wares for sale after all.
I think we're pretty good, Miraqen. Sigg,
I've got my soap, I've got my pen. Thank you very much.
sure.
I might talk to you another day.
Okay. All right. Cool. So what would you guys like to do? Barthen's giving you some a little tasty nugget of information. He's giving you a little bit of incentive as well. Where would you guys like to go next, or what would you like to discuss maybe amongst yourselves?
Shall we head to
I'm assuming, given that I was...
Sorry, Miraqen.
I was just going to say... yeah, Miraqen, what were we going to say?
I was just saying maybe we should confer about it on the way to our next destination.
Which is
Yeah, where would you like to go
Where?
next?
Somewhere. Where is our
Somewhere.
next destination?
Sick.
Let's go to that lion lady. The smithy said that they got weapons, and I
Yes.
love weapons.
perhaps we could work our way south from here. I wouldn't mind a quick conversation with the purveyor of the Edermath orchard.
All right.
As I relayed to you earlier, there used to be an adventurer just like us, and I'd like to make sure that the knees are intact.
The knees.
You know, whether or not he's taken an arrow to them.
Yes, I want to make sure that no arrows have pierced any patellas.
That is agreeable with I, Mr. Gill.
Okay. Cool.
Lorros?
Lars?
I'm just quite happy to follow. I'm not really sure what's going on because I was outside while this conversation was going on. So,
So listen, Lorros, we've been offered 30 gold to take care of the Redbrands, which we've got to discuss. I don't fancy myself a mercenary, but there's clearly an issue here.
you choose not to be a mercenary, and yet you've taken money
I have not
to
taken money.
dispose of some vagrants.
No,
We've
we
not
haven't taken
taken
any
money.
They were offered money. They haven't taken any money.
Offer. I say we do it for free. It's the honourable thing, after all.
Well,
Well,
shall
that
we
is what I'd like to discuss with you all. I didn't want to speak on behalf of everybody, but it seems the town has been through enough. We surely don't need to take nickel and dime these poor folk.
As they say, a good deed is its own reward.
Still can't believe they've got no guard. They should all be dead.
As we finish this conversation, I imagine we end up at Edermath Orchard, and I again.
Yep. So as you approach, it's a nice little tiny little sort of tight. It's very nicely looked after, this cottage, and it's just sitting beside this decent sized sort of apple orchard. There's a man, a rather fit looking silver haired elf sitting on his porch, sort of meeting the sun for the morning, I guess. And he kind of spots you, Miraqen, and gives you one of those. Looks over at Gil. Doesn't really acknowledge him in the same way, and sort of looks over the rest of the party.
Well met.
Well met.
Fine morning this. How finds it you?
I find it very well, thank you. And what brings you out to my wonderful orchard?
We are travellers. We've come to find out all we can about your beautiful town.
Travellers, you say? Well, I'm sure if you're... I'm not really sure what would bring you to Phandalin, of all places. It's not really a tourist attraction. It's more of a mining zone, I guess. You're not miners, are you? Or maybe, from the looks of you, adventurers. Is this... is this accurate?
Some have May I roll an insight check to see whether this fellow is on the up and up?
By all means, give me an insight check.
I've rolled a 19.
19. This, from what you can tell, this is he's very calm. He's very kind. He seems very sincere, and he seems very not familiar, but he has like a warm, welcoming kind of thing to him. Yeah, I think because you are an elf, elven, and he's elven. I think there's already kind of like a mutual kind of acceptance between the two of you.
Very good, very good. So I lean forward a little and say to him, I feel I can be honest with you. We've been hearing some terrible rumors about the Redbrands.
Ah, yes, the Redbrands. Don't you worry about them. Me and my friends have been doing everything possible to get them out of here. We've got plans.
Oh, really? Plans, you say?
Yes, me and my group, we're kind of sworn to protect people from brigands like them, evildoers like them. We're just waiting for the right time, really.
Ah, very good, very good. They sound like my kind of people. Now, how rude of me. We have not yet introduced ourselves. My name is Miraqen.
I am Daran. Daran Edermath, and this is my orchard. It's what I do to keep myself busy when I'm not out thwarting people. Look, you mentioned the Redbrands, and I've mentioned that me and my crew are doing everything we can. But we've, look, I'm going to be honest with you. We're a little busy with other, more disturbing reports recently.
Well, I'll let one of the other adventurers pipe up. I don't want to monopolize the conversation.
What's the problem, buddy?
He's kind of taken aback by your bluntness. Buddy, excuse me, if you are coming to my house, I would rather expect some respect, like the respect I've given you, by letting you even approach me.
He's a talker. Mr. Gill, do you want to talk to this guy?
Certainly. Fine winds, Ganor. How are you?
I'm good. Half elf, I see.
Yes, that's right.
Well, I guess it's better than zero elf. How goes you? Are you with this fine lady as well, are you?
Nicer and I have been traveling together for the past few days. Ran into some trouble at the road with a bugbear leading a group of goblins. We hear ill tidings.
Yes, I believe there's been plenty of troubles across the Tribal Trail thanks to goblins. Yes, I mean, there's been plenty of things taken from many a people. I believe poor Lenine has been waiting for her provisions to arrive, but maybe, I don't know, maybe you'd like to speak to her about that. You didn't happen to collect anything out of that, out of the goblins that you defeated, did you?
Largely, it was the things that they had on them. So a few weapons of goblin make and various other things. The most, I suppose, disturbing rumor that we heard there was that there were drow involved.
Drow? Well, I'm not sure about that, but that... Look, as I was talking to your friend here, Miraqen, we've been too busy with these other reports that have been coming in to look after these Redbrands. You haven't, perchance, seen any undead in your travels?
Yes, we have. We were attacked by skeletons.
Skeletons?
Yes.
We somewhat attacked them, to be completely accurate.
Okay.
Mr. Gill, have you finished the conversation with Talkie Pants over here?
Please, Mr. Sigg. A moment longer.
That's the whole reason we came here, Sigg. Why don't you go draw something?
Mr. Lorros, let's go cut a tree down.
Please don't cut the apple trees down. A different tree, please.
Knife throwing contest, perhaps.
Look, I don't mean to be rude here, but if you're going to be damaging my property, I would recommend leaving before things really do not turn in your favor.
Please pay no mind to our incredibly undiplomatic friends. We wish to help you. If you are against the Redbrands, we may be able to team up.
Look, the Redbrands are nothing compared to what we're having to deal with at the moment. My order have been hearing about more and more reports of the undead chasing people from the old owl well. I don't know if you've reached those parts of the area, but there's a couple of days march northeast of here. Look, if you've got time, we either need you to look after these Redbrands or head up to this well and sort out what's going on with the reports from this old well.
Perhaps we could combine forces on both. It would seem as though it would make sense to start where we are all located here, and then make our way north.
Look, the Order is not something that frivolously teams up, let alone with people as rude as your companions. If you can prove yourselves with the Redbrands, then maybe you can help with the old well.
It would seem that we would be doing you two favors.
It's not a matter of favors, it's a matter of doing good. That's what I say.
For all we care, you could leave right now and we'll sort it out ourselves in time.
Like you sorted out that poor woodworker that was slain here? I take issue with inaction.
You are speaking of my friend Thin. It is sad what happened to Thin. It is unfortunate that we were unable to stop what happened. But if you are going to come to my property, threaten to cut down my trees, and then spit in the face of my hospitality, maybe you'd like to see the blades of the Order.
Absolutely.
Maybe.
I'm sorry we've offended you, please. We may not have the best way with words, but I assure you we have the best intentions at heart.
It doesn't seem so, Nasa. If that is, if you are Nasa to us, or to them.
I would expect one with blades such as yours to turn them towards those doing evil instead of those attempting to stop evil. This conversation is fruitless. We will take our leave, but I would rather spend my energy doing good than this piss contest you seem to be intent on.
Things certainly have seemed to have gone sour, which is regrettable.
It is a shame. It looked like you guys were capable. I was merely looking for help. If I have offended, I apologize. I'm not quite sure what I have said.
Perhaps it was when you threatened us with your blade.
Shortly after my trees were threatened. Yes, correct.
I believe I cautioned them away from your trees. None of your trees were ever at risk because of my intervention. But regardless, we shall take our leave, and I wish you all the best with your undead problem.
The undead problem may become one for you as well in time. And I hope that we can be there to assist you, should you need it.
All right. Well, as long as we're united as good, you can count us as allies. Did I say against good?
What's that?
We're united against evil,
yeah.
not against good.
I'm just going to leave it at that for him.
Okay.
Let us make our leave before he makes it even more awkward for us.
Good talking, you two. Next time I'll remember to mention piss.
All right. Cool. Where are we?
And as they walk away, Miraqen just leans in and goes, "Is that what I sound like all the time? So sorry."
All right. What's the next plan?
Who else are we going to annoy with our talk? I'm sure Siggs and my blade and axe could do a whole lot more in a whole lot less time.
Perhaps Sigg and Lorros need to work off some of their energy with. Could they?
I just want to point out that all Lorros did was
Neighbours.
stay nothing,
Yeah.
and somehow.
Yeah. I do want to say that if the NPCs are going to be communicating with you and you brush them off, they will be offended by it. Unless they're the type that isn't offended by that kind of thing.
Well, he's an elf. Of course he was going to be offended.
Of course, right?
Mr. Lorros, shall we check out the old Costa woman? Sounds like she has weapons.
Sure. Let's. I think we can talk weaponry while these two talk. Talk.
Diplomacy. Good stand.
Yeah. Let's go.
Okay. All right. So you guys are making Gil and Miraqen. Are you following? What are we looking at here?
I'll follow along.
Gil as well.
Okay. Let's
Sigg will knock on the door of the Costa.
Oh yeah, because you can see as you approach this this rather large building, it kind of looks like a house, a normal residence that's been turned into some sort of store. There's hanging above the front door of this trading post is a sign shaped like a wooden shield, and it's got a big blue lion painted on it. As you knock, the door just kind of swings open. It's open for people to come and go. As you guys enter, you can sort of see a decent amount of weaponry and armor hanging on display. There is a rather strong-looking woman, looks to be around 35, standing behind the counter, hands sort of on the counter, leaning forward. And she welcomes you with a I've heard a lot about you guys.
Greetings. You have some fine equipment here.
Only
And your armor's pretty good too.
Why is Sigg talking?
That was just for jokes. I'm wondering what types of armor you've got here, and are they for sale?
Let's have a look. I'm just going to bring up exactly what we've got here. Might just have to wait a moment while I bring that up. Feel free to talk amongst yourselves if you want.
Miraqen just elbows Sigg and says, "Please be nice."
Indeed. This woman has marvelous weaponry and armor. She's almost the pinnacle of this town's usefulness.
Oh,
Indeed, Well, while she's checking on the armor for us, what is our plan? Should we incapacitate these Redbrand fools? Maybe tie them to a tree, get the villagers to beat them up a bit, and then move on?
I say we spend the rest of the day gathering information. We need to investigate the death of the woodworker. We need to understand why the Redbrands seem to fear the miners' exchange. Then we need to lay a trap at the Sleeping Giant Inn.
Tactically sound, Mr. Gill. You're going to get another tick for that today.
Thank you.
So as you guys are sort of discussing this, the lady behind the counter sort of pulls back this curtain and displays a wide selection of armor, ranging from standard padded armor right through to sort of half plate armor and chainmail and plate armor. She seems to have it all. She's got shields, you name it, she seems to have it. She also has a fairly substantial range of weaponry as well. And she looks you guys over and she says, "Yes, I've heard a lot about you. What brings you into my trading post?"
Mr. Gill, do you want to do some talking while I oogle at this great armor?
Yes, of course. We heard this was the place in town to inquire about rearming ourselves, and I see from the make of the weapons and armor on these walls that rumors were true. It's unusual, I would say, for a mining town to have this fine level of equipment. I thought perhaps the provisions in Barthen's shop were all that were available.
And she sort of lets out a little laugh and she says, "And it's rare to have a bard in a town that manages to upset so many people with song." And she kind of giggles. She said, I heard you playing last night, and while I appreciate what you did with the Redbrands, my ears have complaints." But she's kind of having fun with it. She's not meaning any insult. She's more.
Gil is like fucking distraught. I am so upset. I know that she's like trying to have fun with it, but I'm just like,
yeah. Oh no, that's the wrong one. I meant no harm by what I say.
I know. I really was hoping that might become a town favorite song.
Yeah. She apologizes again and pulls the sort of the curtain back over the equipment. You can sort of see that while she has that behind the curtain, her main kind of sales is what you'd normally find at a trading post. It's bindings for caravans. It's maybe like covers for things as well. It's saddles for horses. It seems like she knew of you guys. She knew that you'd be probably interested in some of her other wares. She does say, "Look, I had a few extra things on its way, and it hasn't seemed to arrive. You haven't seen maybe a stockpile of meats and cheeses that I was expecting, have you?"
Cheese, you say?
Yes, yes. I had some rather expensive meats and cheeses on its way from Neverwinter, and well, I was going to be selling them to to Stonehill, old Tobin Stonehill at the tavern, but it hasn't arrived.
My spirits. I think we may have encountered that cheese. and it is no longer with us. We encountered some goblins, and we I think they'd ransacked the shipment and taken it back to their hideout.
Right.
Yes,
Did you?
and
So you saw the shipment?
well, we did more than see it. We did roll for cheese, actually.
Roll for what? I don't. You were rolled my cheese. I mean, they are wheels of cheese. Did you roll them to this?
We saw the aftermath of the goblins taking to what may have been your shipment. It could have been another shipment meant for a totally different. It did. I mean, it did say the Lionshield coster on the side of it, but it could have been for a totally different Lionshield coster. I'm not sure.
No, that would definitely be us. I don't think there's many other Lionshield costers in this area.
I must say, I was half expecting a lion to run this shop.
Only in nature. Miraqen, can I get a perception check from you?
Yes. I have rolled, and I have rolled a 20.
20. You can see kind of on a small shelf behind Linene, you can see these some small statuettes. There's like a lion, little lion statuette. There's like a horse statuette. There's a little gap, but then there's next to that is a small cat statuette.
My goodness, what beautiful statuettes. Such craftsmanship.
Oh, thank you very much. They're Jade. They're some of the most exquisite statuettes one could find. I had one on its way with my provisions, and I wonder... I assume that too has run foul with the goblins.
Well, I think I know exactly what you speak of. I do actually have... Does this look familiar?
Oh! My Jade Frog, so you do know where my possessions are? You have seen them. Look, I tell you what, what means more to me than that Jade statuette is getting those provisions back. If you tell me where I can find those provisions, you can keep that, and hell, I'll even throw you 30 gold for where I can find the remainder of my provisions, as long as it's safe, that is.
Oh, I think it's not safe at all. I was deep in a goblin cave. Was it just meat and cheese? Surely that's replaceable.
I mean, there were a few other small bits and pieces I needed to stock up on, but they would have been. They surely wouldn't have caught your eye like the prime meats and cheeses that I had on their way.
Nay, sir. Just cheese is such a hurtful term. I mean, it's cheese, for goodness sake. The poor woman has lost her cheese.
You're right. That was disrespectful to the cheese, and I apologize.
It's fine.
And furthermore, if this is your Jade Frog, you must have it back. You absolutely must return it to the set.
Look, if that's okay, I mean, all I really need is directions to my provisions. Surely, if you guys made it out alive, then there mustn't be any left to have stopped you. Surely.
Well, by now, the cave could be overrun once more. We can, of course, give you directions to where the cave was, but we cannot guarantee the safety of your shipment. I'm sorry.
That's fine. Look, here, take this 30 gold, and I'll send some of the order to go to get my whatever is remaining. They'll be able to take care of anything that may be guarding it.
I'll tell you what. Instead of paying us in gold coin, which is obviously very hard to come across, How about store credit?
Most definitely. Look, there's a... forget it then, 50. I'll give you 50 gold in credit for my store. But I need to know one thing. I need to know... Look, I try to ensure... As you see, I've hidden these weapons from view, and the curtain is enough to fool the Redbrands. But even if they were to find it, I would not sell to them. I will only sell to those who have the heart of Phandalin in mind.
Well, I can assure you we are fully against the Redbrands. They are horrible scum that seem to be murderers from everything we're hearing.
Mm.
And
One of them stabbed me, the dick.
you mentioned the orders. Are you affiliated with that haughty elf chap?
What was his name again?
Edermath.
It was at the Eldernath. Eldernath.
Daran.
He seems-
That's right. Yeah.
He seems a bit hot and cold, but overall a good sort.
Daran has done everything possible to ensure the safety of this town. With no guards to be seen, certain things slip between his fingers, and we've all lost a great friend in Then. Let alone his family. I mean, no one even knows where they are now. He's been doing his best to find their whereabouts. He's dealing with trouble north of Phandalin. I mean, if you guys are able to help out in any way, I'm sure the store credit can help outfit you, if only to strengthen what I don't know, the help you were going to give Phandalin.
As she says, no guards, I look over at Sigg and do a recognizing nod.
Sigg has gained some respect for the Daran fool, especially if he takes place of where guards should be.
Yeah.
I think we should help.
And Lenine kind of looks you over, Sigg, and she sort of looks you over and says, "I'm quite surprised a man like you isn't already part of the order. You look ready for battle as it is. Surely someone with the resolve of... I mean, you look like you've seen battle, have you not?"
Indeed. I've seen too much battle.
And surely you want to see evil removed, not just from Phandalin, but from all towns.
Tell me, miss, was this man that you speak of not a tree farmer?
Daran used to be like you. He was a fighter, a very, very brave fighter before he settled here in Phandalin. The orchard is just a means to find calm in what is a very, very hard job of looking after this town.
Indeed. Well, that is an elusive thing to find, but it sounds like he earns more respect than I gave him. Thank you for talking to us. This armor is pretty sweet. How much is it?
What sort of... So she's got a lot of armor. What sort of armor... You can take medium or what sort of armor can you...
I'm looking primarily at the heavy armor.
All right.
Have you got plate armor there for sale?
She looks behind the curtain and she says, I do, but plate mail comes at quite the cost. I don't know how flush your pockets are, but even if you were to alone use the full store credit, you'd be looking at a good 1,400 gold pieces, good sir.
Indeed. I shall save up my coins at most haste. In the meantime, what about that splint armor?
Yes, with the store credit again, I could see that going for 150 gold. But surely
surely I know that you're a strong man, and I'm sure you do absolutely command respect. But you wouldn't use all the credit just for yourself, surely, unless you are braving the front of your party.
Well, what
Sig thinks it over for a minute.
Miraqen?
would 50 coins get us? Surely not much.
It depends what you're looking for, really. I mean, are you looking for? I'll be out of character here. Like, you could get some. What do you want me to just like literally list everything she's got that you can get for the store credit? Like, you can get.
No, just the stuff that's worth something.
Well, it's all worth something. I don't know what you guys are looking for.
Sig,
Sorry.
I say you use the store credit. You are our frontline fighter. You have taken many blows for us.
Lorros just slightly affronted there.
Alongside our meteor friend here, of course.
Gee.
And I mean that in the nicest way possible, Lorros. You have saved my life many times, but you need not steal shell as a war scholar does.
Cool. So what sword do you have at the moment, Sig?
A short sword of Cragnolian steel.
All right. I mean, like you could spend a full 50 if you wanted. You could use up the store credit, and she sort of pulls the curtain back and reaches behind the curtain and pulls out this two-handed greatsword. She sort of lays that down on the counter in front of you. She says, "I can see the sword by your side, and I guarantee this will damage the Redbrands or anyone else you may fight. Much better than that small sword of yours."
I appreciate your suggestion, Miss. Mr. Lorros, is this sword to your liking?
I don't like swords. I much prefer axes.
Indeed.
And I pull out my axe, much like this.
And she is impressed with your great axe. Yeah.
It's all right, my friends. I shall save my coins and return here in time. Is there anything else we need here, Mr. Lion Lady? Anything you need from us? We'll go and smote your foes and all that.
That's all I ask. Please, if you need any help, just return to me.
How does the studded leather armor look?
The studded leather armor looks very good. You'd be able to spend 45 of the store credit on the studded leather armor.
Is there perhaps a more elegant version of the same thing? Not necessarily offering any more protection, but just finer stitching and materials that I might pay a little extra for.
Yeah. So she gets where you're coming from, and she reaches. She says, "Please just give me one moment," and she walks out the back, and she comes back with. Again, it looks to be similar to studded leather armor, but the craftsmanship on it is exquisite. She sort of says, I obtained this from a noble, from far from the north. Look, and she shows you the stitching, and the craftsmanship is just beautiful. It's clearly that of what a noble would wear.
I wave Sig over and I ask him to look over and check that it's a fine make.
Sig looks it over. Indeed, this is, I dare say, even better than some of the Cragnolian leather.
Can you give me a history check, Sig?
But of course, I'm a war scholar. With a 4.
Today.
With a 4, you vaguely recognize that the stitching and even like a small emblem on the side, which it for some reason it reminds you of cloud giants. You're like, from what you're aware of, this is a cloud giant's studded leather armor.
Gil, it looks very great. I would buy it if I was you. It's very good armor.
How much?
Yeah, this look, it's God, that broke the fourth wall, didn't it? Yeah, this is normally this I'd be asking more than the 50 store credit, but look, let's just call it at that.
Bargain.
Does anybody have objections? I'm happy to put in my own gold for it, but unless anybody wants something else from the store.
So, just so I have the story right, you gain the pretty armor if we assist the town with the red jacket people. Is this correct?
Astute, Mr. Lorros, as always. We'll go do the thing. He gets the good outfit.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
Okay.
I can front the cost for the armor and distribute it amongst.
No, I'm good with that. I just wanted to understand. I'm perfectly happy with the arrangement. I just wanted to understand that I understood.
Well, I'm happy for whoever wants to spend the credit to spend the credit.
Mm.
Let's spend it before Baron wakes up properly.
Yeah. Okay. So she hands over the armor, takes and says, "Look, you've used your store credit. You've used your store credit, but if you need anything else, please, I'm sure we can work something out. Especially if you help bring Phandalin back to where it needs to be."
One last question.
Oh? Sigg.
One last question. How long have you been without town guard for? It's really, really bad.
We've never had. Well, it's been many a year since we've had town guard here, but unfortunately, the Redbrands removed them, and no one's been brave enough to step back up. The most we've got is the Order of the Gauntlet, and they've been doing as good a job as any.
Mm-hmm.
I beg to disagree.
Now, your big man back there seems to be rather bored. I mean, sheesh, he's been pacing this whole time. Look, I won't hold you up. If there's things you need to do, please do them. And if you need any further equipment, don't hesitate to come see me.
I have one more question. When it comes to dealing with these Redbrands, what do you suppose we should do? I don't particularly want to harm them if we don't have to, but it may come to that. And especially Lorros, he hates having to get into violence, and he could not bear to cleave any heads if it came to that. So what do you think we need to do?
I'm worried that violence is the only answer on this one. I've heard murmurings that they're being. The big guy back there seems very happy about this.
He seems to have got a spark in his eye all of a sudden. I don't understand.
Well, it was hearing that if it's necessary.
I have heard rumors that the leader of the Redbrands couldn't be further from a Redbrand. The Redbrands themselves have taken quite a violent turn in just the last few months. To the point where I feel if we don't take care of them, they may take care of us.
That sounds dire indeed.
Are you referring to the town master?
No, the
Fat ball of a man.
that fat piece of garbage seems to be intimidated by them. He'll do anything they ask. If anything, he's probably in their pocket, not the other way around.
Everyone seems so concerned with his weight. Does he have a thyroid issue or?
Look, it's no surprises that my meats and cheeses mainly go to that guy.
If your
Perhaps
cheeses
it's a
are
good
as
thing
good as
that
I
we lost.
imagine they are, and I can't be sure because I've never tried them.
Roll deception. Roll deception.
Yeah, lie,
Roll
lie,
deception.
lie. Red lights flashing all over the place.
It's lucky
Please don't lie to her.
I rolled a 16.
Okay,
Oh.
carry on. she's
I can't
always...
be sure because I've obviously never tried them. But
Clearly, that's a
would've-
weird thing to say, but yes.
She seems to share the sentiment that this townsmaster is really doing nothing for this town after all. That he seems to be pretty scared by these Redbrands, and that he could even be sort of like just ignoring any of their sort of misgivings or misdoings in the city anyway.
could he be of use to a group hoping to depose this brigand force?
All I know is that he's tried to persuade the Order to leave them alone on numerous occasions.
What? Why would he do such a thing?
I'm guessing out of fear.
Well, we'll keep our eyes out for a rotund coward.
I've seen a rotund coward. He rolled down the street the other day. Well, this morning, was it? Last night.
Last night.
Last night, yes. He rolled down the street last night. I called to him, but he rolled away.
Oh, we'll find him, I'm sure.
He can't have got far. He's very, very rotund.
Cool. So, is there anything else you'd like to do at the Costa, or are you?
Good day.
Okay. All right. All right. As you guys exit the Costa, you hear a familiar voice call out. Oh, it's the adventurers! Adventurers! Adventurers!
Oh, God.
And
Greetings, child.
and with that, we call it a night. That's it.
You had to bring the child back.
We had to end on a clip. What does the boy want? That's us. That's us for the night.